Hey, what's up, OP? You quick, man? How's things? So check all my audio settings, bear with me a sec. How are you? So he's going to turn up for this. We'll just see, because it's a bit of a trial and error, this one. Good evening, Bob. Your YouTube video was recommended and came here. Hey, how you doing, Italio? Itali Pineo, is it? How you doing, mate? Welcome to the recommendation. If you like modding mice, this is the place to be. Can't wait to see. Can't wait to see what you're up to. Heard about the G703. I've never seen anything. Okay. Well, today we're going to open it up, do a weight reduction on it, change some switches. We're using Kaleith 8.0s today. Just not having a battery mod. The battery mod's for the G Pro Superlight. Don't want that one left stock, so I'm just going to play around. It's different, isn't it, Italio? Italy Pinot, is it? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it? Not many people do this. Probably because they're not crazy. So today we're going to play, but I don't know. Sometimes I stream it, sometimes I don't. I thought tonight I'd stream it for a bit. Till we get on. So G703 first, and then the Superlight, which a few people have seen. Give it a bit of a whirl. Okay, your electronics find interesting, fair enough. Very nice. Right, let's do a 703 then. See how we do today. You have a Superlight first Logitech mouse. Okay, you're right in there, mate. I'm with a decent one straight off the bat. Apart from the switches, but that's why it's come to me. We want some different switches on it and stuff. Change them up. Standard cable. Don't particularly like that one. 703. Been trying to reprogram the dongles, but they're not easy. You also get a weight on the 703. Sorry for your ears then. It's like the Superlight though, it's a little bit different on the base maybe. Similar kind of mod to the Superlight and G Pro. Just different shape. Oh, there we go. I think it's got 20 million on-runs in this. It doesn't feel that bad, this one. If I've been honest. Superlight feels horrid though, I don't know why. Live unboxing, pretty cool. Yeah, you get to see it all, man. I'll stream a bit more. I probably should stream more. You know, we can. See what the weight is. Stream tomorrow night, but I just game tomorrow night. So we're on 97 grams there. Yep. So we should get down to about 70. 75, I reckon. Sorry, not 70. 75, somewhere like that. 80 maybe. We'll see. You're going to be flicking backwards and forwards on cameras, that's for sure. Feels a nice 3 gram reduction. Try just taking out the bottom. You think the Superlight could have been better? Definitely. Italiano. I'm going to do my video. I need to do it actually this week. My comparison to the normal G Pro and what I think of it. I'm changing these skates, so I don't really care. So you're going to see me just rip them off. If you want to see how to do it properly, I did drop a video recently. But yeah, the G Pro could have come off easier. These come off pretty easy actually. Normally they split. Nice. Could just put better switches in it. They could have gone a bit more extreme with the weight, but I understand why they didn't. The coating needs to be better on the G Pro. Well, the chance of you bricking something today? I don't know, mate. I bricked a G Pro Superlight the first day when we first released it, so you never know. There's always a risk when modding it, or chopping too much on it, or you never know, right? I'm more likely to butcher too much of it, if anything. Over butcher. I actually took a screw out of this one already. I've had it open. So I've took one out. It does have 4. Favourite colour of the Superlight, I prefer the white. Or I like the pink. But can't get one. Got a white one as well, Ghost. But the I prefer the white one, but apparently that's what the coating's like on it. I need to use one for a bit because I'm using a black one at the minute. This is my stock one at the minute. I've not even touched it. It's got some tigers on it, as you can see, but I'm just reviewing it. It's starting to shine, which is one of the problems it had. We'll see. So once I've finished with that, I'll probably get a white one. This is my review one that I'm using. We'll go tweak the feet now. So they clip in the front here, the 703. Should be careful we don't rip it too hard and rip out this back ribbon. There's a pink edition, that's a limited edition G Pro, that one, OP. You not seen those ones? There's a yellow one, which I've not got at the minute, which I got rid of. Because I particularly like it, a white one and a pink one. So these are the G Pro limiteds, these are just the normal, these look mint in pink. These are the, just the standard G Pro. Cool. Where have you been? These are pretty hard to get hold of though. How long till the coating goes like that? I don't know. Probably about 2 months mine. That's what I reported. Mine shined in 2 months. Original Ghost. So I wasn't very impressed, Italiano. Oh, Italipino. Alright, I'll get you down right in a minute. Some people are saying the yellow one's whitening, but I don't know. Had yours a month? Okay. I don't overly use mine, that's one of the things that concern me. I only game with it once a week. Work and stuff. Logitech seem to have switched out the 20mm ROMs on the side for these Khalith black dot red shells. Seen them in the G Pro, G305 quite a bit, so. They seem to be appearing now. I mean, this is the first thing that can come out, the 703, right? Look at that. We don't need that. Just having a weight reduction to say as well, 703. They also come with really, really thick rubber. But we're not going to touch that today. It's going to look stock. I wouldn't touch the rubber on these. I've taken a rubber off quite a few different ones and it's been a real pain, so don't do it.
I've got both.
Well, these look pretty archaic inside, these older cables. There's a bit of an update from Logi. HH's Thunderous 56 for the follow, man, appreciate it. What was that in the white box? It's a Ghost. It's a Logitech limited edition Ghost one. You not seen these? Looks like that. Standard G Pro is white. They've released a few colours: white, pink, and yellow. Or they call it lime, but it's yellow. It's like a mustardy yellow. That's the pink one. Pink one's the best one. And now they've released the G Pro Wireless Superlight in white. So before that, the only white Logitech was that one in the box. Now they've changed it. Yeah, pink one is nice. Agreed. Nice. Pink's my favourite one, I think. But they'll dirty up pretty quick. So the 703 is using the same 240 milliamp battery as the G Pro Superlight. So the 703 uses the same battery as the G Pro Superlight. Never understood why they use this massive case. So I can't remember what it weighs now. I've done a few 703s, but I always forget because I do so many different mice. I forget what the weight is. They use some absolutely industrial strength tape on these for sure. So far I've already took that out of it. Was it 96 grams? We've took out, it's about 91 at the minute, I reckon. Keep on trucking. Magnetic plates coming out. This is all it is for the charger. So if you've not seen these, they have like a power play magnet. So you change the puck, which is this thing. You change that for like one with a charging module in it, and then it charges on the power play mouse pad, which I used to have. It's quite a good mouse pad, but it's still two layers. It's a rubber and a cloth on top, and it moves around, but it's okay. But this little piece here is the part that charges it basically, so you don't need to plug it in to charge it on the front port. You can just charge it off the mouse pad, which is pretty cool. I like the Razer Hyperflux, although this was out before that. It's got to be an easy way to get these off without trying to rip off the buttons. I can't remember if I've actually done a teardown on the 703. That's what it looks like. Desoldered your Superlight switches to Japanese on-ROMs. Nice, I like them, mate. Good choice. Just going through them at the moment. All the on-ROM switches. I've just done all the Haranu and Khalith and did some videos on them. Now I'm just doing the on-ROM. But yeah, the nice switches, the Japanese ones. Stock battery, keeping that. What we're taking out, put on the left. It's easier to remember. But whenever I press down, sorry, what was I saying? I didn't read your full message. Didn't read your full message. When you press down too hard, it glitches out, like it stutters. Press it down directly on the switch, and it works fine. I noticed. It touches the scroll wheel. Okay, so the button's touching the scroll wheel, is it? Because you, or like the button when you're pushing it. You can like. Depends how brave you are. You can shave some off. If you look at the latency video that I did, this G Pro Superlight, I ended up sanding down the buttons to get them to go around the scroll wheel because that's got a Pwn's Ultra Custom scroll wheel on it, which is a lot bigger. So you can work around that.
I've got balls of steel.
It just depends if you want to do that because you can't go back. So this one has this extra bit of PCB, which is a bit annoying on the side here. Just feel a bit archaic with the 703. Could definitely do with the revision, but I guess Logitech make enough money out of it so they don't care. Which I totally understand. Cheers for the follow, HRC100, appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Welcome tonight, bit different, bit of mouse modding tonight. I've not done it for a while. I used to do quite a few for a bit. Work's been busy. And tomorrow night, we'll do some streaming, bit of GTFO. Don't know any other FPS that I can play at the minute. I'm trying to find one, but I might go on Valorant. Might see, depends when my mates go offline. We'll see. So here's the scroll wheel. The 703 has this weird caddy thing on it, or what you call it. You see it? I just take it off. Like, it's just, you must stop some side to side movement. But it is pretty much solid in there now, so there's no point. no room for waste of pieces. Waste of pieces. Hard to say. So the Mazda 7 3's got a Khalith 9 encoder. You can see that, can you? It's Khalith 9mm. And then what you have is screws here holding in the scroll wheel. One sec. So what Mrs. wants. Yeah, I'll be. Give me a sec. Sorry about that. Mrs. was ringing me. Thought she wanted me for something. She didn't. Right. Where were we? So, take this last screw out as well. Do we have to keep this caddy of the scroll wheel? This is like a holder for it, I guess. Need to keep it, and then you got the PCB. There's one somewhere. There it is. Just like find the screw. You can see they use all the parts from different mice in all their mice at the minute. I'll just take like the same, slightly different actually. This one I thought was the same, but power button, PCB.
I've got balls of steel.
Cheers for the follow, everyone, is it? Thank you very much. Welcome. Never been a fan of these bits hanging off, but hey ho. So the power button's not coming back on. You're adding up all these bits for taking off, by the way. Have you ever shaved off some PCB? Yeah, did it on the M1K recently. Did you see that? Where I trimmed it off. It's a 23 gram mouse and we made it 15 grams. But you could definitely trim some off. You could take this corner off here. We could try some. There isn't normally much in them. So like you can't take this piece off. There is actually some runners in it. It's unless you trace the board. Like the only bits you'll get off here is maybe a bit up here. And maybe this little corner. You can probably trim off this piece here. Well, not around here, but you can definitely trim down this part here. You don't get much. You probably get like that off it. Do you know what I mean? Not really worth it. Maybe get half a gram off it if you're lucky. I'm usually all for trimming stuff, and I've trimmed some off razors before, but I wouldn't necessarily do it unless you really want to. You're not going to save a massive amount on these PCBs. You will office base though. This is a 703 base. The light of a flashlight run through and reveal the run is better. Maybe let's try. Oh, I haven't got a flashlight, we've got a phone. Trying to show my I think not really. I guess you could do it that way. So you can see it like underneath. You can't see much. Yeah, maybe a little bit, maybe not. It's pretty thick in this part, so a bit tricky. Right, get these bits over here. PCB. There's quite a bit in the shell you can take out. It's got like another, I think this one's got inner skeleton again. Find out. Might help you a little bit, OP, but I don't think enough to be able to trim what you want. If you want to take it to the limit, that'd probably be the way, but I'd say it's going to be a little bit risky. But no risk, no reward. There's one thing Logitech do use is a lot of screws. I would say Logitech's got the best built mice around. Do the PCBs have VRMs like motherboards have? I don't know. You tell me. Gotta be careful not to break these off because they're very delicate, but can you see any? Don't think so, but don't know, they could be smaller. Don't know. Never looked into the PCB design that closely, to be fair, but it's a good point. There was one right in here screw. Don't worry, mate. We all learn on this channel. Hero sensor, yeah, this one's got the new Hero in it. It's got the same one as the G Pro. It's really just an Ergo G Pro with a slightly older construction, I would say. That's what it is. Quite a nice mouse, to be fair. Just got to remember how to take this bit apart now. Yeah, you have to say profiles, you're right. Well, they've started to now, don't they? They didn't always used to, but they're getting more, it's becoming more common again. They seem to go through a phase of doing that and then they stopped. But now with like consoles using mice a bit more, it's becoming more common, so they don't have to install software. And also, like I say, people don't want to install software all the time these days. Why can't I take this app? I can't remember. Good old 20mm on ROMs, yeah. I don't hate them in the 703. They feel alright in the 703, the 20mm. So I definitely think it's got something to do with the way the shape of the buttons are and the way they're built into the mouse, how close they are as well. Like my G Pro Superlight. Like, nice Superlight noise. 20mm. Superlight. G7. They feel dead in this. I don't know why. And they feel dead in the other G Pro. Oops. So we'll see. But I don't particularly like them in it. But in this one, in the 703, they seem okay. The 20mm. It's the way they feel. I can't. Oh, no, it is. You have to take this back plate off. I forgot. I have unscrewed it. See? Pretty sure I'll ping this off, but there will be another one. There's another screw somewhere. There we go. Ta-da! Might solder some Cleef 8s into my Superlight because the switches are terrible in it. Yeah, totally agree, mate. I'm putting some Cleef 8s in this one. But I agree. It's a rare plate. It's a little weird diffuser it can take off. It doesn't even affect the RGB. Never understand why they put them in. So first thing we're going to do is just ping this off. Half a gram. The new G703 Superlight. Yep, it will be. It's going to be about 75, somewhere around there. It's not going to have a battery mod, so you can get another 2 grams out of that if you want. I'd probably do a battery mod on it because the Hero sensors are really efficient, especially compared to something like a Model O wireless. These have different switches here, like they clip over the edges, these ones. You see that differently? So on the G Pro they're a bit flatter, but on this one they kind of hook over the edge. We're taking apart a Superlight later, by the way. I've got a mod of Superlight, so you'll see the difference if you're still around. Bob followed your guide. I was able to get your normal. I'll get my normal G Pro down to 60 grams out of battery. Nice. Yep, G Pro itself's got a pretty good modding capability. That's why I love it so much. I'd say the G Pro is probably better than the Superlight and cheaper. Bob is in the house. Logi's listening. Logi hate me because I just cut up their mice continuously. All their hard work. They're like, oh my god, get this man off our mice. So you have to unhook them, which is a bit unusual. Probably trim off the back hook because you've got 2 screws. This is how over-engineered Logitech are. That's how good they are. I'm not saying it's bad, this is good. You have two screws here and then this hook on it to hold it down. I mean, the button ain't going anywhere. Like, you tend to get wobble if there's on one thing. The 2 seems to hold it secure. That stops it from wobbling, and then you still get wobble. Look. See that? Doesn't prevent it entirely, so. In this shell it won't wobble as much as that, just because I'm playing around with it. But yeah, do it like these are all the side buttons. The buttons line up the side buttons. 703. I like the slight curve on the 703 though. See it? Yes. So we're not weighing every part, but we will. We're just going to trim the back off here. In fact, I might as well just do that now. I won't forget. So 3.88. Ready? And I just crop it just behind the screw. So you still get the screw, but you don't get its overhang. Oops. I'll take a look off it.
I've got balls of steel.
See, it's small. That's probably a very small change, but for me, it's a little bit of a waste, so you might as well just crip it off. Chop it off where you can. Hey, thanks for the follow. There we go. Trying to murder it. Bloomer Pog. Oh, yeah. Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot. Bloomer Pog TQ to Q. I can't say that. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I think I've murdered your name enough. We'll be streaming tomorrow night. We'll be streaming some FPS and then do a giveaway tomorrow night as well. If you're interested, get a Steam card as well. This is tiny, this one. Steam $20 voucher if you're interested, so drop by as well. You're accumulating points as you speak, well, as you are here now to enter that competition as well. But every Friday night there's a giveaway. Again, pretty small. Half a gram near enough, just under in total though if you carried it all together. It's pretty subtle too. When you put it back, you see what I mean? Yeah. Similar. So just a little bit of a trim. So it looks like on top you have these little, well actually there's not one on this side, but you get one here where it kind of stretches over to hold the button in place. It's not weighing every part today, we'll just weigh the bits that we're trimming off. I'll show you as I take it apart.
I've got balls of steel.
Cheers for the follow, Ambu88. Appreciate it, man. It's a lot of screws though. Can we screws off? That's a lot of screws. Which won't all be going back in, by the way. We'll be leaving a lot of them out. Just as an FYI, quick as a heads up, they won't be going back. Do you go into, no, you can mess things up sometimes, yeah? I mean, I have to try it, right? So, especially when I'm doing my first ones. I've done a few of these, but there's always a risk. So, there's no pattern to it. There's no design pattern. You just kind of make it work, right? Mingo Gaming, how you doing, mate? Not bad, not bad. Glad it's Thursday. Well, is it Friday yet? Nearly a minute to Friday. Yeah. But yeah, there's always a risk of messing stuff up. So I wouldn't mod mice unless you can afford to mess it up. Because a lot of people come back to me and say, oh, I've broken my mouse, but I can't afford a new one. So my advice is, just don't touch it. Just keep it as it is. The changes are pretty subtle most of the time. As I said, the 703's also got these new Kaleith red shell black dots, not the 20 million ohm ROMs. And the 305s I pulled apart recently have them as well. So obviously I'll just take a change in them out for taking the on-runs out of there. My giveaway for the MPC 450s is finished on Twitter. If you're not following me on there, go follow me on Bearded Bob. What's we got to send? So here's my website if you've not been there. Is it sharp? I did have a top 10 mice, but it's very old now. I need to update that 100%. Discord, if you're interested as well. All my mouse review stuff. Plenty of links there, won't spam me too much. But the, yeah, so you got this little ribbon cable on the side. We're just going to ping this out. Don't want to damage it when I take it out. I'm going to push this out. So out come the side buttons. It's a bit of a mess, this one, to take apart, to be fair, from Logi. I've never been over impressed with this design inside. Not with this PC, not with the this ribbon, it's like ribbon cable. It's also got a red, Khalif red DPI button. Does working on new mice make you nervous? No, I find it a bit more interesting, really. Once I've done that many now, they're all very similar, to be fair. I enjoyed taking about the new Superlight, but then I broke that on stream if you watched. I destroyed it. Unfortunately, the first Superlight I modded, the PCB was a lot thinner, which I hadn't accounted for, and destroyed it. That's probably the only mouse I broke. Screw here. Like the Logitech ones are quite complicated to take apart, but like a final mouse is like 2 screws in the bottom, open it, and that's it. You know what I mean? There's nothing to them. So you can easily take those apart. If you have a bet, what do you think Logitech's next Superlight will be? I don't think they're going to release a new Superlight for a long time, to be fair, but I think now they're going to be done with what they've done. Maybe they'll release some new updated switches subtly into the production line. A little clip there. I think Logitech might update the 305 next. They should. It has like this weird clasp. I was hoping the Shroud would have been the Superlight that they released now, to be fair, but they released the Shroud version. Part of me thinks they did that to try and get rid of some of the older stock. A bit like Audi did with their new Audi S's, but they all had diesel engines. And all the e-tron stuff coming out. It's like the first Audi S to ever have diesels, but it's because they're trying to get rid of all the diesel engines. Well, that's my cynical view. I'm hoping for a Superlight for Superlight G703. Probably they might do that. They might do a 703. They might do a 502. That's quite popular. A lot of people like 502, and it's like a brick. So.
I've got balls of steel.
Wait. It is. I think.
I've got balls of
Aqua.
steel.
Hey, cheers, Aquarel 30 for the raid. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, mate.
I've got balls of steel.
Raid is alive. Cheers, XimJW for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Cheers for the raid. Let's go.
I've got balls of steel.
Thank you, Drama 321 for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Raid, raid, raid.
I've got balls
Thank
of
you,
steel.
Dr. Savage Matters 1 for the raid. For the follow. Appreciate it, man. Just Aquarel 30 for the raid. What'd you do, Aquarel 30? Do you mod mice? Let's go. Appreciate it, man. This is what the PCB looks like. You can see the oops. Focus, damn it. I can't see it, wasn't focusing. So this is number 120s. Can't pick up very easily on this cam, apologies. But it's a D2FC-F-7N G1, I think it is. Yeah, these are the order wires. That's what I mean. The 703 needs an update, I think. Looking at this PCB. So we need to stop messing around and release wireless versions of their mice. Maybe jimming, but the MPO1 gang have left, and the other one's designing from, so we'll have to see what happens, man. We'll have to see. Want to order custom G Pro X Superlight with Khalif 8? Can I send you an Instagram for how it works? What and how to do it? Just go to this URL, mate, if you want. If you go to this URL, you can find a G Pro Superlight. Best just to chat on there. There's like an app to chat on, or you can just email me. See what's on there, man. Shows you what you can pick. You can spec your mouse up if you want. Right, so this is what this shell looks like now. We've modded this one out. So what I forget is this looks like it's a skeleton shell, but it's not. that's the actual external shell now, bar these buttons. Italian, but I came from a MM710 to a Superlight, tried to go back to the M770 and it doesn't feel right. I quite like the MM710, it's one of my second favourite mouse, but I know what you mean, once you flipped between mice, I mean the G-Pro has been my daily for 2.5 years, I think, something like that. Maybe 2 years now. They are different shape. Obviously you prefer the G-Pro Superlight shape, mate. Do you do a bit of palm? I'd kind of palm claw it, like this is my grip. My palm just touches on the back, yeah, you see it? To break my wrist, but I've got an 18 by 9 centimeter hand. Obviously they're a bit higher up, just like that. So I tend to palm it. Always touch the back. Palm claw, yeah, see, similar to me, mate, bit of a hybrid. Probably why I can't go back to the MM710. You probably realise the G-Pro's giving you that better bit of support on the palm. I use the 703 with Hyperglide using palm. Something just doesn't feel right. Okay. Use it because you don't like ergos. Like I used to use a lot of ergo mice, but now I prefer ambis. It's quite thick. The size of the buttons, man, they are monstrous compared to most. Right, a bit of weight reduction coming up. So let's change the switches over to these Kaleith 8s. We're going to switch out these Omrons here, which is the left and right mains, to Kaleith 8s. And then we're going to do a weight reduction on it. And then we're going to do the Superlight. Here's my camera. And the Kaleith, that's going to have battery mod Kaleith 8s, and it's having some new Kaleith side switches. Which is a risky operation, so we could break it doing that, just so you know. How much would you sell a Model O wireless for, or switches replaced? Again, go to this link, mate. Best way is to go to this URL if you want. There's my shop, and there's a website. Loads of stuff on there. Or just chat to me on there, it's easier to go through it. Depends what spec you want, right? You can do pretty much anything you want. Right, so let's do the soldering, so give me 1 sec. Let's set this bad boy out. I kind of like to leave the mouse out and about, but out and about. I like to leave it so it's just don't it powered up, you know what I mean? It's like the worst OCD mice modding for people. So let me just put my soldering iron on 1 sec. Some Flux. A lot of people have told me to use Flux ages ago. I've been using it now. It's a little bit sticky, but it does make it a little bit easier to solder, to be fair. Accidentally just melted one of my cables. Anyway, I have to blue tack this thing down because it gets a little bit moving around. Don't know what, you know, they weighted the base on it, but it doesn't really hold strong. You can use blue tack for this. I think blue tack can still be a little bit advantageous over these, but don't know. Is that reusable? What, Flux? This stuff? No, it wears out. It's almost like a little, oops. Too close. Doesn't work well with cats either. Just help this old desolder process. Oh, the blue tack, this stuff. Yep, it's reusable. Gets a little bit hairy, so you just swap it out, but yeah, it's reusable all the time. I use it in everything, if you've not noticed. Oh man. Expensive, but probably a decent buy if you're doing a lot of stuff. Desoldering gun, again recommended for me to use, so definitely useful. But if you're doing just doing one switch, I wouldn't even bother. But there you go, it comes off easily. Different types of flux. I don't know really, I'm not really a flux specialist, I'll be honest. I just picked up whatever was there, but probably is. Sometimes you get built into the solder, but I don't know how useful that is. So these switches are sometimes a little bit heavier. You not see my Cleave switches, 0.5 grams heavier. I've done a review on the Cleave switches, all the Cleave switches, definitely worth checking out. That one can now go away. It helps it flow a bit better, and I just find it just makes the solder doesn't spread around the board as easily. These fabricators use a powder flux. Maybe for large projects, yeah, you could be right there, mate, Opie. I'm sure everyone's got like their preferred flux and it's got a better flow across the solder. I don't know. Is that hair? Cat's man. Getting everything. Right. Could probably end up using too much. It's a bit like wax, yeah, a little bit. Protects it from corrosion, as well as makes it just easier to ping the solder off. And solder keeps it in check a bit better. Yeah. If you've been watching some of my channels, you've seen me try and mod some switches, and it's took forever. On your ears for a sec. Some of the Zowie boards, because the PCB is really, really thick. Like the PCB here is quite thin. See how thin it is? Zowie's board's like a mil thick. It's like ridiculously hard to get the heat through it. I've never seen someone use a type of gun. No, it's definitely different, mate. They're not cheap, but they make my life a lot easier. The amount of stuff that I'm doing. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought one. But they're definitely worth it. It's compressed air, so it basically sucks the solder away. There's a little line if you're ever wondering to see which way the switch goes around. I'm sure I got it right. Oh, I was putting the switch on back to front. And we'll be desoldering that. And the dot relates to obviously there. Oops. Relates to the dot at the front of the switch OBS. I just put a little bit at the back. And then I can solder it once it holds it. The thing I find this is awkward because it holds it upside down. Okay. First one down. Et voila. It's like an ASMR mouse stream, this. That's all that people refer them to. Guess it kind of is. You don't mind my Mank voice. Do, 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 do. It's difficult to make sure you don't put one crooked. There we go. That's all the soldering for this one. Hey Bob, hey AJ, how you doing, man? Still using your lovely mouse, good man. Glad you're liking it, sir. Good, good. Is it you that plays Overwatch, mate? I can't remember. Apologies. But yes, glad you're liking it. Still living the weight. So if someone's asking, would you reuse them? Yep, take the blue tack off now, is it? Add it back to my pile. So switches are nicely changed. Now we're running some Khalith 8s. As requested. These are the black Khalith black dot, red shell black dots. I've not seen them before, but it seems quite common now in lodges as the default side switches. We just need them to change the front ones now, the mains, and then we're happy days. You're gonna get the new final mouse on the 3rd. I'll put a reminder on my phone. Whether I can get one or not, we don't know, right? That's the question. Cheers for follow. My ear fell off, is it? Not my ear fell off. Cheers for the follow, man. Appreciate it. If you are joining me, I will murder all your names, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Cheers, maxed out for the follow. Appreciate it, man. That was an easy one. What is your favourite G Pro wireless? What is your favourite G Pro wireless or Superlight stock? What a question. I'm trying to do a video on it, and I can't decide. But I do actually think the standard G Pro is going to win for me, because you've got the extra side buttons. You can also reduce it down to 60. But if you're not modding it, that's only because I can mod it. I don't know, it's tricky. Like the Superlight's still good. I just don't like the front skates. But the better with these, this one's using, my one I'm testing at the minute, it's using Tigers, which I put on it. It's pretty good. Excuse the dirtiness of it. It's also used. More cat hair. This one's stock at the minute, but you can get this down to 50 grams if you want. You can make it the Featherlight, or 49 grams I did for Latency's mouse I did for him. And then it's pretty nice, so I don't know. I can't honestly decide at the minute. It's a tricky one. Ali, tricky. Would it be possible, there's a video coming out where I'm probably going to talk about which one's the best one, and I'll probably compare them, and then maybe I'll understand. Maybe with data, I don't know. But they're very similar. I think it's going to come down to what works for you and what you want to do, right? Would it be possible to use the G Pro wireless components to make a Vaxi outset? Someone's done a wireless one. I think they used the G305 wireless, though. My ear fell off. It's on Etsy. I think it's Zor Sirius has done it. I've done some mods of his. You'd have to make it yourself, but it is out there. The G Pro wireless people don't generally use because it's so expensive. There's a Skull Mini. No, so not Skull Mini. There's a Skull Hattie with the G Pro wireless PCB in it, which I'm going to do because I've already got a spare one, but I wouldn't do it otherwise because the G Pro is so expensive, although it is coming down in price now. We shall see. What about the Gelux M800? That's the Chinese Viper Mini. In a sec. You mean this one? I've had this for a long time, just not got around to modding it yet, or trying it out, but we will try it out. So yeah, I haven't tried it yet. We'll find out. And I've got so many mice to get through. Here's the one that's one to look at. It's the cheaper G Pro. which I need to get through as well. Chinese one. We'll have a look. Maxed out high. You did me a G Pro with G4 GM4 switches. Nice. Going to G Pro X. I know you sell custom ones. If I sent you my G Pro, could you swap the PCB switches into a G Pro Superlight for me? They're slightly different, mate. Unfortunately, the PCBs are swapped out. But give me a shout, get an email, mate. We'll chat about something if you want. But yeah, at the moment, you can't swap them. They're totally different. There's a video I've got on my channel comparing the G Pro wireless next to the G Pro Superlight. 1 sec, I'll find it for you. It's worth looking at. You can see the differences. I'm not sure I can just swap them straight. No, you can't, mate. Max, just subscribe, tier 1. Cheers, mate. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it very much. You could be my first, mate. First, anyway. Back on. Thank you very much. I've only recently come back as an affiliate. I cancelled it because I was multi-streaming and now I'm back. But I appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome to the clan. The Beardy Bob clan. See if we can build it. The Dulux has definitely piqued my interest. Yeah, it's piqued mine, mate. I've done a wireless G305 Viper recently, mini, but I definitely want to try that because that could just be a better all-rounder, right? No modding for people. Right, 1 sec, let me just find this video. So comparing the 2 G Pros and then we'll carry on 1 sec. No problem, you deserve it. Thank you very much, Maxed Out. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support, dude. Give me a shout about your mouse if you want to swap them. Probably worth just chatting on email or Discord if you want. If you've not got my Discord, you can chat to me on there as well. Worth joining it. Loads of other people modding mice on there. Some good guys helping out as well. 1 sec. We can never find a video you're after. Cheers for the follow, GC. Might have killed your name there, mate, but appreciate it. Thank you very much. Where's this video? I want this video. There it is. Found it. Hang on. This is the video showing G Pro Wireless versus the G Pro Superlight. So definitely check this out if you want to see the differences. This is them both being torn down next to each other. There you go. There you go. Right. So now we're going to weight reduce the 703. Yeah, we've got the Superlight is coming up next as well. If you want to see what's inside it, we're going to be modding one. We're just finishing this G703 off first. The problem is I got a G903. You have a 9. I used to love the 903, mate. I used to like it. And then I got a Superlight. I got a G Pro, but the 903 is good. I do need to mod one actually. I might even take one apart. 903. Kind of got an idea what it's gonna be like though, but I should probably do a teardown. The next teardown is gonna be the Razer Viper Ultimate. We're just busting out the drill if you're wondering what we're doing. Well, this thing, because we're going to need it. Considering what my Superlight coating now, yeah, I would be, mate. In all honesty, it's quite slippy. I know you can see it on my thumb, especially on mine. It's glistening a little bit. 2 months, maybe 2.5 now, but after 2 months it was doing that. I put a video on my YouTube, just a quick one, showing it off. I find it grippier with it, unless my hands get a bit wet without the coating. I always found the G Pro to be quite slippy, but it shouldn't wear after that period of time, right? My normal G Pro wore after 6 months. So now we're going to do a bit of a weight reduction. So this is what the shell weighs like. Here we go. Broke my scales then. They're alive. 25 grams. I mean, the rubber weighs quite a bit. It's at least 6 grams on the sides here. We're not taking that off today. This is having a stock weight reduction. Going to look the same. I'm going to keep these posts here as well. Got 2 rear posts that plug into the bottom of this base. So we're just going to keep them as well. We could mess it up, we shall see. Hopefully we don't. You want to mod the mice, these are the best things. Not particularly these ones, these are pretty good though. These like slightly angled pin nose pliers. Can't remember what they're called now. Some tools there that I use if you want to look at that as well. But they're useful for modding. They're 3D printing. Use a lot in 3D printing. I find them very useful for modding mice. You can just good at just trimming off bits of plastic, like quite close range. Close range, like I'm trying to shoot it. They're quite good at getting close corners. You know what I mean. So if you're doing this, just keep trimming out little bits. So this is going to look stock. So you might look a bit ugly at first, but it's going to look absolutely stock. Obviously, unless you flip it upside down, and then it won't. But if you have it in a setup or something, this will look stock. So if you want to mod it, this is how you do it. To keep looking nice and stock. Yeah, took the rear off it, but you can see that. You put the base back on it, and then you put the rear panel on. It'll look stock. See? It's like a sheep, a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what it's like. Quite a bit off it, 3 grams ish. Will it change the weight? Maybe. You can also push the weight around with the battery a little bit as well. Can't remember if I need that. So there isn't too much you can take off inside here, because you can like start to drill out some of this part in here if you wanted, where the buttons lie down, which I do in some of them. So they kind of sit over the top like that. The problem is if you get a bit funny with it, like there's a screw, this is one of the mount points, you're only going to be able to take out that one bit there. And then you're going to take out this mounting point. You've only got one piece here really you can take out over this side on the 703. And here, there. You can probably trim a little bit of this base out. What we already did was, we took out one of the bits. There's one screw hole here. You see it? And that's where the other PCB mount point was. So there's a mount point, I'll hold it back together. There's a mount point here. And there's a mount point here. And this big piece of PCB screws to that. So you don't take too much out because it won't mount properly at the back. You don't want that rattling around, right? We trim a little bit more off it. And then it starts getting down to risk versus reward, like how much you're going to do it. Like some of my extreme mods, you know, I do it because I'm doing it for the camera, but I wouldn't personally go that far on some of them. It's just showing you what's possible. I'm quite happy with like a 60 gram G Pro looking stock. A few people like the drill ones. Get fully drilled. I'm telling people not to drill their super lights at the minute. If they come into me, they can have it done if they want, I'll do it, but I wouldn't drill it, so I don't think you're gonna get much. You might get 2 or 3 grams off it maybe. It's quite a thin shell anyway. I'll probably sand that down a little bit, or drill it down a little bit with the drill, smooth it off. That's what that looks like when that's finished. Like I say, you can start to trim the rubber off. These are, you're taking the rubber off the sides of mice. I've done it on 2 of them. It's a real pain. So, but we got a lot of time. Now for the base, this is where the weight is in this. Magnets weigh quite a bit, I think. Trim the magnets down. There you go, 4.5 grams of magnets. The G Pro Superlight has got the same. It's got slightly thinner magnets in it. The lighten the magnets in the new G Pro Superlight, which is quite cool. That was interesting to see. So now I'm just going to trim this base out. Probably do the same mod. We'll go up here, trim around all of this again. See how we go. Now you could just drill it out with something like this nail file early on, but it takes quite a bit of work. You're better off just cutting it out first. Definitely a risky part here, mate. I'd say the internal shell, this is more risky. But yeah, this will just you have to just keep putting the PCB on it and having a look. You'll see me do that throughout this, even though I've done a few. I don't sit there modding the same mouse all the time, so I forget. I forget really. Simple as that. Unless I went and watched a video all the time, it's a bit difficult. Like I say, you could do a battery mod on this as well if you wanted, but this person doesn't want one. This is not for me. I've already done mine. So the first bit's just trying to get it going. It's a bit awkward. You can snap the bases, you got to be careful. Don't overdo it. Do aftermarket skates make a notable difference in the G Pro X Glide? I think so. Definitely on the ones I've done recently. I've done the I did the core pads, maybe a link core pads, and I did the Tigers, and I'm about to do the core pad V2s. So I found the Tigers to be better, but here's a good example. If you want to look at the stock skates, they're a bit catchy. They're a bit catchy, the stock skates. So here's the stock G Pro stock versus the Superlight. If you're interested, skates. Is that going to the right link? Shit. Yep. And then you've got the core pad ones. So this is core pad V1s. And then you've got the Tigers, which is the latest one that I did, which I prefer the Tigers. This is one I've got running Tigers at the minute, and I'm just about to put the, well, I've just been doing the core pad V2s, that I'm just really looking at all the data at the minute to see what the differences are. And these are the Tigers, which I prefer at the minute. They're a bit more rounded. The right size, like the core pad's a little bit thinner. They're not even, they've got a thicker and thinner skate, so certainly worth looking at. So these are the Tigers, you can't tell, but these are the Tigers at the moment. But you don't get a dot with the Tiger. Doesn't bother me. But check those videos out. The top one's the first one's the stock versus the G Pro stock. The G Pro stock versus the Superlight, and just the difference to see whether the actual skate itself makes a difference. You know, the changes that made the skates like bigger and stuff against the original G Pro, and then the other ones are the new pads for the actual G Pro Superlight, or G Pro X, people are calling it now. Whew, that was hard work. Apologies. Made more work out of that than I needed. Are we using a mask when using that file? Not always, mate. There's not that much dust. You want to see that carbon fibre one I did? I had to wear gloves for that and a mask, and that was definitely a problem. Would not recommend doing carbon fibre. Could use on a social distancing mask now, though, I guess. Is a higher quality mousepad more important than a mouse feet? They work together, I would say, mate. Yeah, and that's one of the problems. You know, it's all in combination with each other, right? And like the default stock skates on the G Pro X are actually pretty good. They're just a bit catchy for me, but after a bit they did get a little bit better. But I don't know, like, what's this weigh? I forget to weigh. It was about 11 grams on it. Do you remember from the beginning? Just a quiz, just testing you. Can't remember now. It's 11. There you go, 11.5 grams. Now it weighs 10.2. It's all gonna add up. Do you think Logitech will address the issue with the super light coating? Probably not. They didn't on the G Pro, but the G Pro did last a bit longer. I mean, the original G Pros was super slippy. Someone said the coating changed. Maybe. It was difficult to tell on that one, but did it make much of a difference? No. Still wears. I mean, the original G Pro wore down, right? Whoops. It's pinged up in my house. I really like the shape of the 403, 703. Okay, is that what you came across from? Nice. How do you find the Ambi to, or Ergo to Ambi change? Do you prefer the G Pro X shape now? The Rock. The Rocket. Alright, noise OPC in a sec, man. I think I'm hoping Logitech next will look at their design and think, yeah, we're engineered this a bit compared to everyone else. Let's trim it back a little bit, and maybe we can get even more money out of it. That's what I would do as a manufacturer. They're all built like tanks, though. If the switches didn't fail on Logitech's, I think they'd last until the nuclear war hit, and even then they'd probably survive. G Pro X was honestly not that hard to get used to for me. Fair enough.